So I'm thrilled to have with me this afternoon Always Track, coming in via Zoom for a video meeting. And I want to introduce, to start with, Jose Zamora, CEO of Always Track, and ask you, Jose, how did you get your start in the trucking business?
Well, Jim, we started many years ago in Laredo, Texas. I started actually as a driver. I've had previous experience in Mexico with a trucking company that I used to own in Mexico. About 13 years ago, I came to the United States and started as a driver, and I had a lot of experience as a dispatcher and on every area maintenance of the business, accounting. I worked for a few companies. Then I started my own company, my own trucking company. We started with one truck and we started growing little by little until we grew up to almost 50 trucks.
So that's a pretty substantial size trucking company, and it creates some management headaches. What problems were you experiencing that made you decide that you needed to develop a TMS system?
Well, we decided to develop a TMS because we needed a software or a solution that will help us run our business from anywhere that we were sitting, either in Laredo or outside of Laredo, traveling or whatever, from my home, from my office, from whenever. And I needed to have data. We think that knowing and having information about your business is crucial, and it'll help you. The more information you have, the better decisions you're going to be able to make. So we went out to look for a software, and honestly, we couldn't find a software that we like, that we could afford. So we were trying to match what can we afford and the features that we were looking for. And unfortunately, the ones that we were able to afford, they were not really helping us at all. And the TMS that we could find that have most of the features, but not all, they were really expensive. So that's when we decided to create our own software.
Well, I can see that would be a problem because I know what some of these big systems cost. But writing a truck management software is a huge deal. You were driving a truck and writing programs at night, or how did you do it? Or how'd you get help?
Well, not really. I started as a truck driver, but then I had my own company. So between me and Christian, which he has a lot of experience in the trucking business, we had, both of us combined, we have a lot of experience in transportation, not only transportation per se, but specifically transportation in the border, which is very different than inside United States. So we have a lot of expertise there, but we had zero experience on programming and writing code and all of that. So that's where Jorge Herrera comes in. We partnered together to build this software. And well, Jorge has a lot of experience with coding and programming himself. He worked for about 10 years in a trucking company, developing some of their softwares, and that's how we partner and we started creating everything. So Jorge can answer any of your questions that you have with coding and programming. He's the expert here.
Well, that's great. And Jorge, having the software developed right here in Texas is even better. A lot of companies use offshore coders. So that had to give you an advantage as well.
Yes, Jim. Yeah, previously working for a company in Nuevo Laredo, in the Mexican portion of the Laredo, the Twin Cities, and I had the opportunity to learn about not only the part of trucking, but also about the companies that brokerage companies that it's the other part of the business in which we also have and can combine our software. So yeah, also that company was a very huge company in Mexico and had operations in Mexico as well as in the United States. So our software is capable of managing your loads door to door, since Mexican part all the way to Canada. crossing borders, managing the companies that cross your load for you between the borders, as well as many other features that we have. And as Jose said before, that the business, trucking business in the border is very different because we have to deal with a lot of situations that a domestic load doesn't have.
Yes, and that USMCA pact that we have with the United States, Canada, and Mexico is probably the largest free trade area in the world, and the number of billions of dollars of goods transported is staggering. So, what are the key features that you think really help the operators like yourselves that operated in that unique environment?
Well, the features that we have for software that are key are going to be related to fuel, related to managing your maintenance, um, the features that you don't have to be doing repetitive work, right? So our software has multiple integrations, one of them being fuel, as I just said, but it's uh, the fuel the way we do integration with fuel, we do it in an automatic way. So a lot of softwares, when they say they have fuel integration, the way they work that is that you have to upload reports or you have to send the software company an email with your reports and they will upload it. With our software, everything is automatic. So anything that we designed and that we create for the software, we do it thinking that if we can save one click, we're saving money. So the more automated the software is, the better it's going to be for the owner, for the dispatcher, for the driver. So we have our software, we have many features that we can take hours taking you through each of one of the features. But we have fuel integration, we have factoring integration that will save you tons of time and money. We have IFTA integration for your fuel reports. Um, we have integration with other GPS trucking companies. So you can say that we can manage everything in one solution. Many of the softwares you have to move between softwares. With ours, you can do everything on just one software.
Yeah, and that's a key differentiator. So you can go from electronic driver logs to the drivers to maintenance records to integrating with several major fuel card companies. Off the top of your head, which cards have you integrated with that are common?
We work with Comdata, Loves, Pilot, EFS. We work with multi-services, Fleet One, just that I remember right now. We have a few more.
Yeah, and it's probably not difficult to integrate a unique fuel card solution if one of your customers brings it to you.
That's correct. We can do that too.
Now, it strikes me too that it's tough to make money in the trucking business. The margins are thin, the expenses are high. What are the keys to profitability, and how can this software help owners become more profitable?
Well, when you talk about profitability, then you have to talk about fuel, because fuel is your number one expense. Fuel is going to be your moneymaker or your bankrupt. So fuel, you have to pay a lot of attention to fuel. And we do that with many reports. We do that in a way that anytime that you finish a load and you're going to create a settlement, the system will automatically bring you all the fuel that you have been using. That's number one. Number two, we have a very important report that the system will match every expense of fuel that you have on your fuel account with any settlement. So if there's any fuel expense that you haven't assigned to a settlement, the system will let you know. So now you know that there's fuel that I'm paying for fuel that I'm not assigning to a settlement. But I'm going to say that the most important feature that as of today, we're working on it. It'll be ready pretty soon. But because we are able to connect to the computer of the truck via the bus, so we're able to know about the fuel consumption, about the speed, about the braking, about acceleration of the truck, about so many things that are going on the truck, temperatures, all of that that we call telematics. We're going to be able to have all that information in the dispatcher's board, where they're going to be able, it's going to be like an extension of the truck. The dispatcher is going to be able to see that on his computer. So the system is going to be able to analyze and give you information so you make better decisions, and to be able to know when if you're losing money on fuel, maintenance, speeding, whatever the case might be.
It sounds like you're saving and automating a lot of mechanical, clerical functions. Can you cut staff by implementing this solution in the clerical area?
Absolutely, yes. So I can tell you as some of the experience that we have. I do remember clearly this one customer when they approached us, and they, at the time, they had 47 trucks and they had 7 dispatchers. At the same time that they had 47 trucks, we had on my trucking company, we had 30 trucks and we had 1 dispatcher. So when I talked to the owner, and I showed him and I said, you know what, 7 dispatchers, that's too much. Maybe you want to have 2 or 3 the most. So he said, well, we'll see. So he used the software, and after 2 months, he called me and I said, well, I went down to 4 dispatchers, and that's because he had him for a long, long time and he didn't want to let them go. But he said, I'm clearly saving money. I don't need too many people working here. And we want people to get jobs. But in order for you to make money and be profitable, the less people you have, the less mistakes you're going to have, and the more productive you are.
Well, and your drivers are the lifeblood of your business, and they're generating profits. The other guys are just overhead.
Exactly, that's correct.
Well, I'm excited about this USMCA operations aspect of your business too, because it's so vital. And I think that, any specific suggestions that you can have to our customers to talk about how to handle those cross-border applications would be exciting to hear about.
Well, I'm going to let Christian talk about that, because he has a lot of experience there and he handles a lot of the operations there.
Yes, thank you, Jose. Yes, Jim, we believe our system is able to include all parties involved on an international shipping, which is very important. For example, shippers, external foreign carriers, which are very commonly used, external border crossing carriers as well, storage and drop locations. We believe also that having the ability to have all this information together, customers are able to seamlessly input and also track a load from loading to final delivery between these countries.
And then, in Mexico, they're starting to require ELD and HOS operations more. Are they using electronic logs yet in Mexico?
I don't say that they're using it, because it's not by law. They're not requiring it yet. They're going to be there very soon. But you can see right now, the big companies are already using it. So we all know that way before the ELD mandate came in place in the United States, we know that the big companies in the United States were already using them, right? So same thing is happening in Mexico. So little by little, they're going to start using it, and we're ready for that.
Well, and that's true of Canada too. I guess they're going to be requiring ELD, as we do in the United States, within the next year.
Yes, I agree.
Well, now that you've kind of enjoyed the reputation as the best software in the industry for truck management, what are the roles that your team has taken on now?
Well, so Christian and Jorge, we all used to work on the trucking company that I used to have. So now, as I said, Jorge, he's the lead programmer. He's the head of operations of everything that has to do with programming, coding, all of that. That I can tell you that I have a lot of experience in trucking and a lot of experience in business, but Jorge is the one that knows everything about programming, so he's taking care of that. Christian, on the other hand, Christian had a lot of experience on the operations of the trucking industry, how everything works, because Christian, as myself, we've been drivers, we've been mechanics, we've been dispatchers, accounting, we've done everything on our trucking business, right? So the roles that all of us have been taking are just bringing our expertise, bringing everything we know to make this software the best software ever, to make this software easy to use, to make this software productive, and mostly we focus on making the life of the dispatcher, the accounting department, and the driver and everyone involved to make it easier. They don't want one more thing to worry about. They want solutions. So we try to bring all of our experience together just to make it easy to use, productive, and affordable.
So that brings up a question for Jorge. One of the most difficult things about any software is to guarantee scalability and stability and to do the proper QA testing. From everything I've heard from your customer base, you have the most stable software they've ever used. How did you do it?
Well, yeah, we use web tools as our base platform. So when you're using the latest technology based on multi-users, on being on every part of the nation, you have to be able to push all the updates without your users having to log off and log on again. So every upgrade, if I'm making, for example, an upgrade on a form in which I'm adding a field, I'll have to the user when he opens that form again, he'll be seeing that update without having to reload, without having to sign off and sign on again. So yeah, and our customers have been very happy with this sort of upgrades that they know that with the same pricing that they have, everything we add to our software, they are covered. So they don't have to invest on licenses or purchase everything extra. To be able to have those new updates.
Well, that's really helpful. And Christian, you're really acting as a consultant to the industry for a low per truck fee that starts at $15 a month. So can you tell me, when you onboard a new trucking company, the kind of consulting work and things that you can do to help them utilize the software and become more profitable instantly?
Yes, to mention a few, we right away explain to them or show them how the integrations work, especially between the few companies and our system, by saving them time. Also, we encourage them, most of the new trucking companies that just opened their business and they're looking for a software don't know also that they can get discounts with fuel companies as well, and little things like that. Another big key issue from the operation side is the notifications to customers, where before and a few years back, still we were notifying updating the customer via telephone or maybe an email, manual email that you had to type and inform them where their load was at, perhaps 3, 4, 5, 10 times a day, and then keep a track of all those loads. So we encourage them also, and we show them how to use their automated notification and updates for the customer. And that's one of the biggest keys that kind of attracts them, because we emphasize in that they're going to be more profitable. They're going to have more time to get better customers or better paying loads, put more attention maybe in their maintenance and their shop and their drivers. Those are, to mention a few.
Well, how long do you think it should be expected to integrate a medium-sized trucking company with Always Track software?
I'm going to say that when you're talking about medium trucking company, let's say 10 trucks, 15 trucks to 20 trucks, maybe 10 to 20 trucks, I'm gonna say that it won't take them not even a week to learn how the software works. It's very easy to use, very intuitive to use, and we have a lot of features. We provide training, which is free. We provide videos, tutorials, and they can find all of that information on the inside the software. So when you are on the software, almost every window that will pop on the software, if you're gonna create a unit load, you're gonna make a settlement, you're gonna add a driver, you're gonna add a truck, anything you're gonna do on the software, you're gonna find a little orange question mark that if you click there, it's gonna tell you and explain you right away how to do the process that you're doing at the moment, right? Instead of just having a big manual to use the software. So even though we provide training, we have videos and we have manuals for the customers. And the experience that we have is that customers start using the software and they get the hang of it in a matter of days.
And then do they spend a lot of time on the phone helping, asking for help or calling helplines?
Not really, because again, we have a lot of videos, but mostly I'm gonna say it's because the way we design the software, the best way I can explain it is that if you have a 5-year-old and you hand them your iPhone, your iPad, your whatever device you have, you don't have to teach little kids how to use them. They know, because the way those things were created, they are very intuitive. So that's the way that we design the software. We have people that, as long as you know about transportation, you will get the hang of it immediately. It's very easy to use. It'll take you step by step. Now we have customers that they started trucking companies and they don't know a lot of transportation. Well, we found out that the software is a transportation teacher. It'll teach customers how transportation should be handled and how you should run your business.
And that's a great kind of consulting help. And that intuitive interface is great because in the truck management software industry, many of these systems are ancient and architected on old AS400 systems from IBM. You're using the latest tools and Android apps and iPhone apps.
That's correct. That's correct. We try to use the latest, and we always try to improve, because we know that we have to keep up with the latest technology, and we do that every single day. We are not a company that develop a software and now that it's done, we're just trying to sell it. People ask us, is your software ready? And we always say it will never be ready. We will always be improving. We will always be adding, and we will always be evolving to the new technology.
And Jorge will always be busy.
Exactly.
Thankfully.
If I may add something to that also, a lot of the things that we add to the program are customer suggestions. So we take all those suggestions and we analyze them and we put it together.
Oh, that's wonderful. So it's really that you've created a learning community. And Jose had told me previously that you're working with every single trucking company in Laredo. So they are all involved in cross-border trucking, and that is a USMCA prime area. So you're really ready to expand nationwide at this point.
That's correct. Let me just add to that when we started the software, actually we created a software for our own use, for our trucking company. And then when we started selling the software to other trucking companies, we found out that every single trucking company, they have their own type of operation and they handle the business in a different way. So that's when we started getting different input from other trucking companies, and we started making the software more robust and more. It has more options, so you can adjust it to or customize it to your own personal operation. And as you said, because we're in Laredo is in the border, and it's they call it the gateway of United States in regards to land transportation. we can say that we have input from easily more than 500 different companies that they have helped us develop the software to different customizable operations, if I might say.
Well, I wanted you to comment on two things too. So we talked about the medium-sized trucking company, and that's probably 92% of the carriers in the United States, something that are 20 or less trucks. So how do you integrate specifically for a larger enterprise class operation?
So our software is able to handle, we have customers that have one truck, and we have customers that have 350 plus trucks. So again, the software is customizable. So if you are a small trucking company with one truck, 5 trucks, 10 trucks, and you are what we call a one-man show, you run everything, the whole company, you can do that. If you're a bigger company that you have different departments, the system can set up departments for you. The system can set up offices. If you're a big company and you have offices in Laredo and you have offices maybe in Chicago and offices in New York, well, you can open different offices inside the software, manage them separately, but then see all the reports together. So we're able to accommodate trucking companies from 1 to 300, 400, 500. No problem.
And I'm sure you have a lot of standard reports, but what if somebody comes and asks you to create a custom report?
Anytime we have people asking for that, when we started the software, it was a everyday situation because we didn't have a lot of reports. Right now, we have so many reports that we don't have that question asked very often. But if we have customers that they want a specific report, we can work that for them.
That's great. And I'm amazed at the depth and breadth of this software, the fact that it'll work from the very small to the very large trucking carrier enterprise. How do you keep the prices low?
Well, the way we keep our prices low is, honestly, Jim, is just keeping them low. We're here for the long run, and we're looking to help a lot of trucking companies. So in order for us to keep our costs low, you're looking at the most of the company. We're not a huge company, so we try to make it affordable to people because we don't have to charge a lot. There's a lot of software companies that they charge a lot of money. I don't know why they do it. You don't have to. You can make it affordable, and you can make it where other people get to be productive. So the more productive the customer is, the better for them and the better for us.
So you're a lean operation. You don't have a lot of overhead. You're encouraging your customers to eliminate excess overhead. It's just a better way to run a business.
Exactly. That's exactly what we look for.
Well, I'm so glad that you could spend some time with me this afternoon and talk about Always Track and your truck management system software. Thank you very much, Christian. Thank you, Jorge. And Jose, I appreciate you being available to tell your story to our customers.
Thank you very much for having us, Jim.